Hello, friends, and welcome to the new episode of r/Tales from Retail. And today we have another set of crazy stories for you. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. And let's get started. Did you get the license plate of the bus you threw me under? I work in a southwestern grocery chain as a cashier, and tonight I had self-checkout to watch over. Normally, I don't stay late because I don't like doing anything extra for the managers that don't back us up. Yeah, I know it's petty. They begged me to stay late, and I figured, what the hell, why not? Now, the only thing that customers can't get for themselves is tobacco, which we keep behind customer service, and the expensive booze. Otherwise, they can grab it and scan it. When we're busy, as in this story, I don't like leaving if people need help. They just have to wait on me to get back, or sometimes people just walk out with an order. So at this point, I had a line of about 7 people, 5 out of 6 working machines, and I'm still swamped trying to get everybody taken care of. So my last customer was your usual balding, beer-bellied, gun-toting American. We'll call him BC for balding cowboy. I'll be Raptor. BC. Hey, I need a bag of ice. Raptor. No problem. The barcode's on the front of the bag. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and grab one. Barcode's on front. If it won't scan, flag me down and I'll come over. Well, I want you to put it in for me. Sorry, man. I don't have the right barcode for it. The one I have is for a bag we don't carry anymore. So at this point, my handheld is ringing like a bell, and I'm running around trying to help everyone else and keep the area clean. I saw him walk off towards the cooler, so I didn't think anything of it. I guess he went and got my front-end manager? So she walks up to me while I'm filling out some paperwork, in part to talk to me and to remove the security cap from Sparky the Wonder Pooch's alcohol. Raptor, this guy said you refused to scan a bag of ice for him and you ignored him. That isn't even close to what I said. I was bogged down trying to rush around and told him the barcode was on the front of the bag and to grab it when he's ready. Well, why didn't you grab the bag for him? Because he has 2 hands and I was busy. So by now he's got everything bagged and in his cart, and he's walking over to get his bottle of alcohol back, so the manager starts apologizing for my behavior. Then this smug SOB just had to get in the last word. After she kissed his butt and offered him a discount, he graciously says while grinning and looking dead at me, No, it isn't your fault. It's just, customer service matters. You may want to teach that to your employees. You're absolutely right, sir. I apologize for Raptor's actions. I'll have to talk with him. He then fired finger guns at me and calmly walked out of the store. Meanwhile, I've absolutely crushed the paperwork I had in my hand so I don't grab him by his throat. I looked at my manager and with a dead look said, So that's how we do things, huh? Nice to know. Thanks for the backup. I walked away to clean up my registers and the icing on the cake. He didn't even pay for his order. The manager kissed his hairy butt, threw me under the bus, reprimanded me for doing my job, and he didn't even pay for his order, which I'll show on my record, not hers. I printed out a void receipt for the order and found her before I left. With the widest grin I could muster, I showed her the receipt. Just so you know, BC walked out without paying for the order. So I need you to sign this before I go home. What do you mean he left? I mean, after you uncapped his alcohol and apologized for my actions, he left with his order and didn't pay. Good luck and good night. Walked out livid as hell, and I'm not even sure I actually clocked out. God, I love retail. And our second story. Being a decent human being makes me uncomfortable. Some context. I work as a cashier in the retail hell of all retail hells, a U.S. hobby shop that sells an arrangement of things from art supplies and crafts and home decor, etc. The reason why this place is a retail hell is because we don't use scanners. All the prices have to be put in by hand, followed by which department they came from, and discounts if there are any. Sales change each week, so we have to memorize the sale products and what comes from which department, but that's another complaint for another time. Our store is relatively new in our city, and we're closed on Sundays, so Saturdays are always ridiculously busy. Customer wait times supposed to be between 2 to 3 minutes, so when you have a customer with a lot of sale items from the same department, you can separate and quantity items together by price, which goes a lot quicker than individually typing out the numbers, department, and discount percentage. Most customers are understanding of this. They don't want to wait longer than they have to and are aware that they can hold up lines. BOL is B-word old lady, but only because old lady with a stick up her butt is a mouthful, even for an abbreviation. So, yarn's on sale this week, and this woman comes up to my register with a cart that is literally overflowing with skeins and various other needle art items. Naturally, she wants the needle art items done first on a separate transaction. As I finish up the first one, which took roughly 5 minutes, quite a line had piled up behind her, so I politely asked if she could help me separate the yarn by price. Normally I wouldn't ask for help, but this lady had such a massive amount of yarn that I knew it'd take forever to either sort through them myself or ring them up individually. BOL. No, I can't do that. Me. Well, it just makes it go quicker since I have to put in everything by hand. If you could help me, it'll take half the time. BOL reluctantly helped me sort yarn and said nothing more. I could tell she was disgruntled. As I was waiting for her payment to go through, I apologized and told her that I wished it could be as easy as just scanning an item, but our store is odd like that. And BOL loses her mind and uses the most condescending tone I have ever had the pleasure of hearing come out of a fellow human. You know, this is a job, and I don't want to hear you complain about working. At this point, I'm blown away by her sudden change of attitude. I give her a polite but short response as I've had a very long day and I'm not in the mood to deal with shade. I just spent a lot of money here, and I don't need you to make me feel uncomfortable by having me separate yarn while you whine. I tried explaining that I was simply apologizing, but she doesn't let me get a word in and starts droning on about something or other. At that point, I've tuned her out. I give her a bunch of mm-hms and okays, and BOL continues to try to rant to me about service. The man behind her had been inching up closer and closer and trying to get checked out. He's been waiting for like 15 minutes at this point. BOL doesn't get the message, so I tell her to have a nice day. She blubbers a bit, snidely snaps, "Oh, I will, but," and tries to continue ranting, so I turned to the man, greeted him, and started ringing up his items. BOL realizes that she can't hold up the line by going on an hour-long tirade and stomps off immediately to ask for a manager. Maybe I was in the wrong for asking for help, but when you're constantly complained at by customers and higher-ups for taking too long to check people out, you get desperate. And our next story. So what, you just don't like service members here? I got another story. This one's from a few years back. I used to work as the manager and marketing/web/email specialist at a tiny little boutique that sold trendy but inexpensive clothes for women. It was just my awesome boss, AB, who was the owner, me, and my employee. I loved that job. I've since commissioned, but at the time I was an enlisted National Guard soldier as well. It's not something you would have been able to tell from looking at me, though, as I had to dress trendy for the job, wear makeup, etc. This is important later. So a woman came into the store one day, mid-30s, dressed a little frumpy, and proceeded to walk around and browse. I greeted her, let her know to ask me if she had any questions, and went back to working on the email flyer I was sending out to customers later that day. She finally came up to my register and laid out a scarf. Lady, how much is this? Me, all scarves are $8. Lady, my husband's in the Army. I made a little humming noise of interest. Lady, he's deployed in Afghanistan. A little random non sequitur, but I thought maybe she recognized me from a dining out or some other National Guard event, so I indulged. Me. Oh yeah, what province? L. Pendleton. Pendleton's a Marine Corps base on the West Coast, so my confusion must have shown on my face. I was expecting an answer like Kandahar or something. I didn't feel like correcting her, though, so I opened my mouth to say something like, "Well, I wish him safe travels," when she interrupted me with a huff. Look, I don't know why you're questioning me about this. I'm wearing his dog tags right now. So do you give a military discount or something? We don't, not really. I could give a 15% discount for whatever reason I choose, and I'd usually use that to knock off a bit if I knew the customer themselves is LEO or military, but I didn't normally give it to the spouse of SMs. I would have been willing to make an exception this time, but the store wasn't doing well and my boss had all her savings tied up in the business and was stressing about money. Plus, the customer was being a bit rude. Me. Sorry, ma'am, we don't offer a military discount at this store. I might could make an exception if you also serve, but not for spouses. Do you serve as well? Lady: Of course I don't. What do I look like? Why can't you just support military spouses? We have the hardest job in the Army. My husband is deployed. Deployed! Me: I'm sorry, do you still want the scarf? Lady: I want to talk to the manager. I'm always a little blunt and forthright by nature, which my regulars appreciated, but by now I dropped all retail politeness, reached over and plucked our business card from a tray and dropped it onto the counter. Me: I'm the manager. Lady: Then I would like to speak to the owner. Me: She's not in today, but her name and number are listed on the card above mine. Do you still want the scarf? She huffs, but takes her wallet out to pay. As I ring up her transaction, she gripes, So what, do you just not like service members here or something? What kind of place won't give an Army wife a discount? You people must hate the troops or something. My God! On and on and on and on. At this point, I was pretty fed up. So I reached down under my counter to my purse, fished around by feel until I had the right card, then snapped it down right next to the business card. Me, pointing to the business card at my name and title. What's that say? Lady: My name. Me, pointing at the thing next to it. My military ID. And what's that say? Lady, studying the ID. My name. How about that now? From there, she got really red-faced. I handed her a receipt, and she swiped the business card and stormed out without a word. I rolled my eyes, knowing I'd catch a little flack for this. I love my boss like a big sister, but she was the customer is always right type, and I knew I'd get a gentle little lecture about tact and sensitivity when she came in the next morning. When she came in the next day, she frowned at me as she tossed her purse on the desk. AB: Did you give someone my cell phone number? Me: I gave her our business card. AB: Shudders. I need to get those changed. That woman was such a B-word. Don't let her back in here again. Haha, roger that, boss. Why can't you just support military spouses? We have the hardest job in the Army. Ma'am, spouse is not a rank in the Army. Thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one soon.